Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Arise, O souls, arise.
Good morning, all souls. I'm Jane Gilbreth. Let's try that again. I'm Jane Gilbreth, and I'm a longtime member of All Souls. Whether you're here in the room or watching online, we're glad you're here. Your presence enriches all of us and our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Our tradition is a large tent with room for many beliefs and approaches to the questions that matter. It is our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice that hold us together. We seek to build the beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. You may be new here this morning. We're glad that you are here. May the congregation greet you all by saying, welcome. Welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today.
Good morning, All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. It's so good to see you this morning on this warm morning. Today we gather to come to this place to be centered, renewed, to be grounded once again in that love and that grace that permeates the entire universe. This morning we're going to be talking about our love for nature, and we're going to be going on a journey together, a path into a forest, and talk about what it is to be filled with wonder, astonishment, and awe when we encounter nature on the journeys of our life. And by the way, speaking of nature and journeys of life, the Web of Life Garden Club has a display outside, so you can go out. It's a little warm out there, but you want to go outside and take a look at their display, what the Web of Life Garden Club is doing. Remember, we are all a strand in the web of life. So let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship and get ready for this journey.
We light our chalice this morning with these words. The world may show us darkness and bring us fear. May the flame of our chalice inspire us to resist. May it bring us together, that we may know the power of community, that together we shall flourish. Please rise in body or spirit to join in reading our covenant and for the following song. Together, we affirm goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
It's time for all ages, so anybody of any age, come on up and we'll have a few moments together. Good morning. Come on up. Don't be shy. Come on up. Hi. Hey, I want you all to come on up a little closer. Can you come up closer? Come up. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Come. Yes. Look at this beautiful. This is called a stole. And look at all the different animals on it. There's an owl. What else do you see? What else do you see? Animals? Raise your hand if you see something. What do you see? Squirrel? Yeah, what else? What else? What's this? Is that a lion? Maybe? What else do you see? A fox? Yeah. What else do you see? An owl? Yes. Anybody else see something? So actually, this is a story. This is a what we call a stole. And I was looking for a stole this morning, and I went into Reverend Aaron's closet, and I stole her stole. Because I thought it was so awesome, and I wanted to wear it so I could show you all the different animals. But there is another, it's not an animal, it's a tiny animal. It's actually a beetle, and it's called a lightning bug or a firefly. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a lightning bug. Okay, some of you have seen it. The adults out there have seen it. There's a picture. Look at that. You see that little lightning bug up there? Is the person holding a hand? You see the picture? Is there? I don't know. I'm looking for one. I can't find the lightning bug. But you've seen them. And what time of day do you see them? Do you see them in the daytime? Do you see them at nighttime? Yeah. What's the best time of day to see a lightning bug? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Maybe right around sunrise, or maybe, yes?
Usually it'd be like here, but probably around
Yes, perfect. I sit out sometimes, yeah. Right before sunrise, yeah. So that time when it's not really bright yet. So you've all seen lightning bugs. And do you know, and this is something maybe you don't know, they're beetles. They're actually a form of a beetle. I learned this morning. I had to get ready for you guys. And what they're doing is the little lights go on. They're looking for a mate. Yes, good man. You got it. They're looking for a mate. It's like somebody looking for a special friend. How's that? Yes. And when they're looking for their mate, they light up. You know, sometimes, this is for the adults, but human beings, when they fall in love with somebody, sometimes they light up too. So it's kind of the same kind of deal. So what I want you to know is it's an extraordinary thing to see lightning bugs in nature. And they're being threatened. There are fewer and fewer lightning bugs in the world because there are a lot of things that are happening and making it harder for lightning bugs to exist. But they're very special. And so I want you, the next time you're out, look for a lightning bug and realize it's really, really cool. You know, the thing is that we all have a light inside of us like a lightning bug. We all have something we're good at and we want to let it shine. How many of you are good at helping around the house with chores? Raise your hand. Yay. How many of you are good at drawing? How many of you can draw? How many of you are good at video games? They're really good at video games. How many of you are good at sports? Anybody good at sports? Yep, okay. How many of you are good at being a nice person? Everybody should raise their hands. There we go. I want, when you go out, not only to look for lightning bugs, but remember you have a light inside you. And you let your light shine. And don't anybody tell you to put your light out. If you're, whatever you're good at, let that light shine. Let the world know I am here and I can do this. Let your light shine like a lightning bug. Okay? So go to class and we'll see you soon. Let's sing the song together.
Good morning, all souls. Good morning. I am Brian Doyle. I serve as your vice president on the board of trustees here at All Souls. And I'm going to kind of take a cue from Reverend Luckey, what he was talking about. I'm taking back a word today, and that word was used against me as a child or when I was growing up, but it's a word that I love now, and I say this in the most respectful way. I love All Souls because we love weird. I am weird, and I'm taking that back. Weird is great. Weird is great, and weird is this is a safe space for weird. And I am just pleased as punch when I get to come here and ask, please make this safe space for weird people of everything. People like me, weird. Yes, anything. We are love, and we only are loved by your donations. I'm pleased now because I've grown since I've been here for about 5 years, that I can now pledge, because I'm working, which is really important to me. It goes to the operating budget, which keeps this place for weird folks like me and any of you who also have heard that word used against you. Love that word. But please also, if you can, open your wallets and donate towards those of us who are weird. And weird is lovely. I love being weird. I love coming here. It's a safe space to be weird. The offering will now be gratefully... Oh, I got this part wrong. The offering will now be gratefully received and given, or offering.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home.
Wow. Shanna is a gift. I love her so much. I love you. Oh, I'm supposed to, yeah. I'm sorry. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society. Thank you, everybody.
This excerpt is from the nonfiction bestseller, The Glorians, by divinity professor and author Terry Tempest Williams. Visitations from the Holy Ordinary. I can never define the natural movement of the Spirit that occurs and is generated right here on earth, our mother at home. But I can bear witness with awe and gratitude, translating what I see and feel, and then share it as an offering of joy or bewilderment or love.
A prolific poet and novelist, active farmer and environmentalist, Wendell Berry is still at work at nearly 92 years old, and this is his best-known poem, The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
Thank you to all the people that share in worship and leadership and Sound and Light down back in the back, and so many people make this all happen. I'm so grateful for all of them, all the gifts in this community, which are just extraordinary. Let's just take a moment, friends, to kind of breathe. You're probably getting used to this, a kind of a quiet moment to exhale all the anxiety of the world and the freshness of grace. When I inhale, I like to think of the word peace, and when I exhale, I like to think of the word gratitude. Inhale peace, exhale gratitude. Peace. Okay. Nature calls. Well, I don't mean that. I took care of that before I got up here. But nature calls in that deeper sense of giving us moments of wonder and awe and astonishment. The week after next, I'm going to spend the week at a cabin off the grid without indoor plumbing in the mountains of northern Idaho on the side of rushing water Drew Creek. And in the middle of the night, nature will call, and I'll have to go outside and do my business. But when I do, I will look up into the heavens to the tops of the spruce tree and the hemlock and the pines and the conifers, and I will look above and I will see the expanse and the immensity of our galaxy, the Milky Way. And I will experience my smallness, knowing that I'm only receiving a fraction of the light of the 200 to 400 billion stars that make up the Milky Way. It's 100,000 light years across, and there are billions of other galaxies out there. And I will have a moment of wonder, astonishment, and awe. Terry Tempest Williams, in her new book, The Glorians, Visitations from the Holy Ordinary, talks about these moments that we have in nature as Glorians. These are moments of encounters of grace where we experience the élan vital of life itself. Moments of grace like Wendell Berry experienced when he says in his poem, The Peace of Wild Things, when the despair from the world grows in him, he goes outside and he lies down by the wood drake. And there, for a time, he rests in the grace of the world and he is free. I encourage you to take a look at Terry Tempest Williams' book, The Glorians, because it's filled with these little Glorian experiences. For instance, she writes about hiking in the mountains of Mexico and encountering millions of monarchs. She writes, millions of monarchs hang from the trees like frost-bitten leaves, and then the sun appears from behind a cloud. The peace is ruptured in a frenzy of flight. The forest is ablaze with monarchs. Have you ever experienced a Glorian in nature? For me, it was a baby robin. It was a couple of weeks ago when it wasn't quite so hot, and my wife and I would sit out on our back deck at our house in Lawrence. And in the middle of eating our chicken, I heard beep, 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 beep. And I looked up and I realized that the eggs had just hatched. I felt a little guilty eating chicken underneath the robin nest. But sure enough, the mother robin had picked that inauspicious spot to build her nest in the crook of the downspout under the eaves, right over where we eat every night. It's almost like she pulled up a chair at our table and adopted us as her family. But we would eat our supper, and Mama Robin would go out and yank a worm out of the yard and fly it up to her very demanding children. And we would watch them grow as the protein of the worm turned into wings and bones and whatnot. The days went by very quickly, and then suddenly these little baby robins got big, too big for the nest. And so these fledglings began to flee the nest, and 2 of them took off. I never saw them again, but there was one fledgling who maybe he was having a hard time learning how to fly, but he came and he landed right on the table where I was working on my sermon on my computer. He was so close to my computer, I was sure he was going to step on my keyboard and delete it. But that little baby robin with that speckled breast just looked right into my eyes, and I looked into its eyes. And it felt like there was a moment when the wall between my humanness and its wildness melted away, and I realized that we were just 2 fellow creatures on this planet together. It was a Glorian moment, my friends. Years ago, as in northern Canada, I ran into an Arctic wolf and I met its yellow eyes. I'll never forget it. Perhaps some of you look into the eyes of your dog and feel like your dog is peering into your soul. Have you ever had that happen? And maybe your dog is just saying, hey, my bowl's empty. But these are Glorian moments we have in our lives. So I want to talk for a few minutes about what do these Glorian moments teach us about ourselves and our relationship with nature. And it seems to me it's the lesson that Wendell Berry gives us. When the despair in the world grows within us, it is that experience that we are somehow wonderfully, marvelously unshackled from the despair of the world, and for a moment we are filled with wonder and astonishment and awe. And it is that moment, isn't it, where we realize that we are not apart from, but we are a part of all creation. Notice what a difference a transition, a preposition makes. We're not apart from, we are a part of all nature. It's a moment when we realize that we are not this human species up here high on a perch, separate from everything else, from the owls and the trees in the world. It's a moment when we realize and we look up and see those billions of stars in the Milky Way that we are made of stardust, just like the stars above us. It's a moment when we realize that fellow beings like the robin are also conscious and have sentience, our fellow beings on the journey. When we have that experience, it's a moment, my friends, when we are brought to our knees, is it not? And we are humbled by who we are as human beings. And we realize in those moments when we are humbled and brought to our knees that we are part of and not separate from all creation. And what is the feeling that we have inside of ourselves? It seems to me it is a both and feeling. It is both a feeling of deep gratitude for the song of the wren, deep gratitude for the trees, and yet at the same time that we feel that deep sense of gratitude is also an experience of profound and deep grief, that we find ourselves crying out on behalf of the earth, wondering, what have we done to the air that we breathe? What have we done to the trees, our companions, to our fellow beings on the planet? And then in that moment, we realize it is our hubris, it is our arrogance as species to think falsely that we have been somehow apart from and not a part of all creation. That somehow we've seen ourselves as apart from and therefore given ourselves license to abuse it, to exploit it, to mine it, to make money off of it. And we realize that we are crying out on behalf of all creation. And I'm crying out this morning by what I experienced happening around us these last couple weeks. I mean, think about it, my friends. Our country pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, said, no, we are not going to be part of this multilateral effort to reduce carbon emissions so that we could lower the Earth's temperature and save the planet. We said, no, we're not going to be part of that. And yet, when there's 800 fires burning in Canada today, and the smoke from those fires is creating an apocalyptic orange in the cities of Chicago and Detroit and Toledo and Boston and so many places around the country. What do our political leaders do? The gall, the audacity of them to blame Canada and say it's Canada's fault. As if somehow the wind could just stop at the international boundary. It is so short-sighted. We are all in this together. Not to mention the people of Canada and the evacuations that have taken place in Ontario this last couple weeks, and the animals in the forests that have been decimated and imperiled. What I am feeling then, my friends, is a sense of grief for what we are losing and have lost. I'll talk about grief for just a minute. We all know what grief is. Grief is that sense of loss. We lose somebody special. It's that experience when something is gone from us and we don't know if we'll ever get it back. Somebody we love that we'll never see again. That what many of us are experiencing, and I am experiencing, is the grief of what's happening to our planet, feeling and worrying that I will never again go through a summer where our skies are not carrying this terrible pollution of these fires. I remember as a child going up into northern Canada and going on canoe trips. I never worried at the time that the whole region could be going up in flames. It's the grief of what we are losing or what we have lost. And so what do we do when we're in a state of grief? I think what many of us do, and I'm tempted to do, is to let myself get numb, just to shut down all my feelings about the grief. But here's the thing. When we allow ourselves to get numb to the grief that we feel, we also numb ourselves to the gratitude that may be around us. So I'm advocating this morning for two things. On the one hand, let us feel the grief and let our grief turn into anger and let us raise our voices for the voiceless and let us express our feelings to our political leaders about what needs to happen to save our planet. The other thing is to allow ourselves to feel the grief so that we can feel the gratitude for all that is around us. So when our spirits get down, that we find ways to return to nature and to restore our spirits again. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who we talked about several months ago here in this congregation. As you know, he was the famous theologian that was put in prison in World War II by the Nazis and was finally executed by the Nazis 2 weeks before the end of World War II. When he was in prison and knew that his life possibly was facing execution, when he was in the Tegel prison outside of Berlin, Germany, there was one day when there was a song thrush outside the prison window. And he was so moved by the song of the thrush outside the window when he was in prison that he wrote his parents a letter. He wrote all these beautiful letters from prison. He wrote his parents a letter, and in the letter to his parents, he said that song thrush was singing most wonderfully in the morning and now also at nightfall, noting that it made him grateful for small things. It was a Glorian moment for Dietrich Bonhoeffer that filled him with gratitude. Friends, I invite you this morning to go out into nature, and whether it's a lightning bug, or whether it's a baby robin, whether it's looking up at the stars in the sky and the Milky Way, Whether it's Wendell Berry lying down with a wooddrake and feeling the peace of the world, go and let your heart be filled with the wonder and the mystery and awe of nature. W.H. Auden says it's only in passing that things reveal themselves. And maybe it's only now, and especially now, that we appreciate how amazing and how wonderful and how deeply important for our souls being in nature is. It is, my friends, the antidote to numbness. Let us go forward into this world and experience the Glorians among us. Peace to you all.
Will you rise if you are able and join us for the beauty of the earth?
Friends, go forward with these words from Terry Tempest Williams. When she talks about what the holy is and what it means to her, she says and writes, "My God is not singular nor gendered nor human in form, but because the gods I recognize are many. They are everywhere with mouths and eyes, with wings and hooves and fins and fur, with gills and trunks and leaves and spores. My gods are many." Go forward from this place and open your hearts to the Glorians that are all around us. Peace to you, my friends.